Kano State House of Assembly passes bill dissolving Kano Emirates. Labour rejects 57,000 naira minimum wage offer as federal government laments paucity of funds. PDP 2023 presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar vows to continue quest for presidency. On the foreign scene, Chad junta leader to be sworn in as elected president. Good afternoon and welcome to the news update at this hour on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. Now the news in detail. Kano State House of Assembly has passed Kano Emirates Council Amendment Bill 2024 after scaling third reading. The law has abrogated establishment of 5 new emirates in the state. All offices established under the repealer law are set aside by the new. Also, under the repealed law are to revert to their previous position. The lawmakers advise the governor to put all necessary measures in place to restore Kano Emirate system to its previous position before enactment of the law. The APC lawmakers in the assembly had earlier walked out of plenary over law set to overturn the amendment that the former governor Ganduje signed into law on 14th October 2020 and another amendment signed on 11th April 2023. The Assembly had in 2019 passed an executive bill that split the state into 5 emirates through the creation of 4 new emirates.
This 5 newly created emirate has done nothing but create divisions among the indigenes of Kano. They only divide people. The unity which existed thousands of years in Kano were divided. Kano is one, and some portions were now created into subdivisions called the Emirate Council. So we are now reverting back to our old historical background. One Kano, one people, one emir.
We felt this issue should have been subjected to public hearing. Let's hear the public. Let's hear what people want. Do they want the amendment to be done? Because we represent people. We are not brought here on our individual capacities, but we were brought here by the mandate given to us by the people. So we felt people should be given the chance to speak and say whether they like it or not. And most of us are from the rural areas, and we felt what happened earlier, has brought development to our rural areas.
And to react to this development is member Kano Elders Forum, Ibrahim Adokurawa, who is joining us virtually. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us on the news update. I'd like to hear your reaction to this development.
Okay, it's a natural development, and it's expected because the emirate created by Governor Ganduje have no basis in history and law. That was why when he did it, we objected. But now, alhamdulillah, the assembly decided to repeal all the laws he did while he was the governor in relation to the emirates. And they have reversed now to the original position of Kano with only one area.
You have stated that this development is actually expected by the new administration. I'd like to hear from you. How do you see this affecting the polity in Kano State?
It's positive because that's what the people wanted when they voted for this government. They voted for this government because they knew the government is going to change what Ganduje has done that is not correct. And the repeal of the Emirate law and many other things that he did that were not proper are in good, they are properly done and people accept it. So it is good for the politics of Kano and it is democracy.
In your opinion, don't you think this would divide Kano? There are supporters of NNP and also APC.
What Ganduje did was what divided Kano. This one is going to unite Kano.
Okay.
Ganduje's position was to divide people and rule them. But now, what the NMPP is doing and the Governor Abba are doing is to unite all the people of Kano under one umbrella. We have one identity. Majority of 99% of the people in Kano are Muslims and they speak Hausa. So why we start creating Emirates that never existed? You see, that is what is going to bring division, and it did. So now we are going back to our origin, which is we are one people, we have one identity. There is no difference between somebody from Kano sitting and somebody from Dogwa or somebody from Konchi. So why should somebody come and create Emirates for you? We are not southeastern Nigeria, where every hamlet becomes a kingdom. We don't have that.
Okay. So I'd like to hear from you.
It has always been one area in the last over 200 years. So the Jihad of Shaw's Kano has always been ruled by one area. So why should somebody come and create? You can't create Emirates. It cannot be created by law.
Okay, then what happens?
Of the people.
Just very quickly before we let you go, what then happens? Let's say the next government comes in and decides to revert this.
If the next government reverts it, another government will come and bring it back. That is democracy. Nothing is permanent. We don't have fear. We believe what is right should be done at every given time. What is going to come tomorrow, we are not sure. Only God knows.
Okay. Thank you so much for your insights and thoughts on this developing story. We do hope to pick up this conversation as soon as we get more information. Thank you so much. There we had Ibrahim Adokurawa, who is a member, Kano Elders Forum. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update.
Thank you.
And away from that, the Tripartite Committee on New Minimum Wage has adjourned till next Tuesday, May 28, to continue deliberation after Wednesday's meeting in Abuja ended in a deadlock again. The federal government, the organized private sector, and the organized labor failed to reach a consensus on the new minimum wage at the Wednesday meeting. Reports say the government and the organized private sector was forced to propose the sum of 57,000 naira from its earlier 54,000 naira after the committee took a 30-minute break to make further deliberations. The sum was, however, rejected by Labour. And now to the southwestern part of the country. Residents of Lagos State have been responding to the federal government's proposal of a new minimum wage of 54,000 naira to the Nigerian Labour Congress. This offer, which has also been rejected by the Labour Union, represents an increase from the earlier proposal of 48,000 naira, a figure presented at a previous meeting where Labour unions staged a walkout. Victoria Tokolo reports, is presented from our studio.
Since the initial offer 48,000 naira and later 54,000 naira by the federal government, the organised labour has maintained its demand for 615,000 naira as the new minimum wage for Nigerian workers. Lagosians who spoke on the issue said it was imperative for the federal government to give Nigerians a living wage that reflects the present economic realities.
How can Labour now be said they want to collect 650,000? If Labour now is collecting 650,000 per month as a minimum wage, definitely it will affect so many things. It will affect house rent, it will affect transport, it will affect... I don't understand. We should first of all start from this higher denomination. Our government should reduce, should cancel higher denomination.
When you talk about minimum wage in other jurisdictions, you also talk about a living wage. Ask yourself, a bag of rice is about 75,000 naira now, or 80,000 naira. So if you increase the minimum wage to 54,000 naira, you can still not buy a bag of rice. So what we should be focusing on is what is called living wage. You understand? A wage that can help workers feed themselves, feed their children, take care of their health, and take care of their accommodation.
Anything short of 615,000 is just killing the people. If they can afford to buy 160 million naira vehicle for themselves, they can buy yacht, they can buy the rest of it. Why not give the workers what is due to them? All the money they say they are saving from the subsidy, let them apply it back to the worker salary. I don't earn salary anyway. I'm a businessman, but I know what I'm going through presently with the excruciating pain that this subsidy removal has caused. The implication of subsidy removal is gargantuan. It's very, very big. It's huge, and the masses are feeling the heat seriously. All the standard of living and the cost of living has really gone up, thereby making the standard of living very, very low.
Others said, with the present high cost of living due to inflation, 54,000 naira cannot take care of a household for 1 week, hence the need to improve on the amount.
50,000 to 12,000 cannot go anywhere in this Nigeria. Look at even ordinary pure water. Pure water is going to 10 naira now for pure water. How many pure water would I going to buy out of this 54,000 naira in a month? Feeding is there, transport is there, everything is there, hospital bill is there out of 54,000 naira. So they should look and have mercy upon the masses.
54,000 is not enough. It's just too low. But in our economy, they are suffering people. People are suffering too much. 54,000. What do you use it to buy?
A family of 3 or 4, 54,000 cannot it's sufficient for them to manage for a whole month, 30 days. They have a lot of things to handle. However, I don't think the demand of NLC of over 100,000 is the solution. Taking to cognizance the fact that our naira has been devalued.
1,000, you don't reach one person to eat. You know how much they sell rice now? Rice starts from 400 naira. For one spoon. 400 naira. How many spoon won't give to an elderly person to chop? You don't reach at all. You don't reach one person, not less of family. You don't reach.
Meanwhile, Labour has insisted that the new minimum wage should be announced on the 31st of May.
And to the National Assembly, the Senate has urged the federal government to establish a special intervention fund for the maintenance of transmission lines in Northeast region. This resolution follows a motion highlighting the urgent need to address the vandalization of transmission lines operated by the Transmission Company of Nigeria in the area. Our correspondent tells us more.
It's been over a month since the northeastern region has been in total darkness due to the vandalization of key towers along the Jos-Gombe and Gombe-Maiduguri 330 kV transmission line of the region. In this light, the Senate, as a matter of urgency, called on the Ministry of Power to allocate funds to the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) to address the faults along the transmission line and restore power supply to the affected areas. The Senate, during a debate led by Senator Manu Haruna, bemoaned the lack of electricity in several parts of the region, noting that the vandalization of critical electricity transmission infrastructure posed a significant threat to the economic prosperity, public health, safety and security of the Northeast.
Aware that the frequent vandalization of transmission lines, especially the disruption of TCN towers, not only disrupt the electricity supply in the affected states, but also compromises essential services such as healthcare and education. It also exacerbates insecurity issues and imposes a heavy financial burden on public resources for the repair and replacement of infrastructural damages.
Mr. President, when we are talking about restoring electricity in the Northeast, what we have is minuscule. It's small compared to what other parts of the country get. So in addition to getting the restoration, in fact, we'll be asking for justice.
Of this lack of electricity, there's no water. There's no water, and because of this, there's serious health problems. And there are serious health problems, in fact, there's hunger. So many things are associated with this lack of electricity to the extent that we have very serious challenge of security because of, as a result of darkness.
Because of the importance of power in contemporary world shouldn't be only confined or limited to Northeast. It is a general problem. And so really and truly, today, without electricity, you virtually can achieve nothing.
I want us to go beyond restoration of electricity supply in the Northeast. We should find out the culprits, those that are responsible for the vandalization of the power line. It is considered as economic sabotage for people to go and destroy government properties.
After contributions by other lawmakers, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio put the prayers moved by Senator Haruna to vote. After the debate, the Senate appealed to President Bola Tinubu in line with the Renewed Hope agenda to expedite the construction of the Makudi-Jalingo-Yola-Gombe 330 kV transmission line to connect the northeast to the southeast transmission line, creating an alternative supply path to the northeast in the event of a fault on the Jos-Gombe line. From the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And to the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives Committee on HIV and AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria has questioned the Ministry of Health regarding the disengagement of a local contractor in a $100 million loan agreement between Nigeria and the Islamic Development Bank aimed at combating malaria. During a stakeholders meeting, the committee's chairman, Amobi Oga, expressed dissatisfaction that the anticipated relief from the intervention had not materialized, despite the agreement being signed in 2022.
In his ruling at the meeting, Amobi directed that the Minister of Health, Ali Muhammad Pate, who was in attendance, to provide a comprehensive report of the transactions pertaining to agreement to the committee within 2 weeks. The report is expected to explain in details why the local vendors approved for the agreement were disqualified and not given access to the job.
If UNOPS here can tell us, as a country, that they cannot tell us what the local manufacturer have done that made them to disqualify this local manufacturer. See, the reason why all of us are here is because of one thing, Nigeria. If it's a grant or aid, we won't spend our time. When we are here, because it's a loan that we are going to pay back. With interest.
Earlier, the Minister of Health said the agreement was reversed because there was issues with the local producers. He said according to the agreement of the loan, there was an agreement by the government to utilize a United Nations procurement agent, UNOPS, adding that a memorandum of understanding was signed to that effect.
Loan that allowed us to have the 90 million is constructed within an agreement that was signed between Nigeria and the multilateral banks, and that had the legal opinion of the Attorney General and their board of the Islamic Development Bank. They would have to take it back through their processes, back to their board, to change that. We can choose that route, but I would like the committee to be aware that this will take at least another 12 to 18 months before then we relaunch with a new procurement method.
The director and representative of UNOPS Ghana Multi-Country Office, Ifeoma Charles Mwuba, said there was an anomaly with local contractors whom she said lacked capacity, hence the need to terminate the agreement.
For the anti-malaria drugs, all the anti-malaria medicines have been procured. And all local procured medicines, and I want that on record, that we procured local medicines here in this country. And actually, the first time an international organization is doing that. And we procured local medicines here, and all of them have undergone quality control testing. And we've written to the National Malaria Program to bring the distribution list so that the local manufacturer can distribute that. So local manufacturing and procurement of medicine has been done.
The Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented by the House Leader, Julius Ihonvere, said he is hopeful that the matter will be resolved amicably.
Therefore, my role is just to encourage all parties here to be transparent and make their contributions in a way that will provide a solution. It does not mean we will not take some time to understand the past so we know how we got to where we are.
The 100 million loan agreement is between Nigeria and the Islamic Development Bank and is meant to address the challenges of malaria in the country.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has announced that he will continue to contest for Nigeria's presidency as long as his health permits. He mentioned being inspired by the story of former American President Abraham Lincoln, who ran for office multiple times before eventually becoming president. Atiku, who is 77 years old, was the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in both the 2019 and 2023 elections, where he lost to former President Muhammadu Buhari and the incumbent President Bola Tinubu, respectively. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fantiri has urged youth in Adamawa to embrace skills acquisition in information communication technology for the state's betterment. He made this call while opening a 2-day youth summit on ICT skills held at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Yola. Gibson Soadigo reports.
Youth from the 21 local governments of Adamawa State were selected to participate in the Maiden Youth Summit organized by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Youth Empowerment, Safrat Dungas. Declaring the event open, Governor Fintri emphasized that his administration has consistently prioritized youth in its policies and projects, particularly in education and entrepreneurship.
We affirm our commitment to continuous learning, innovation, and progress. Let us embrace the opportunity that ICT presents and strive to harness its potential for the betterment of our communities and the advancement of our state. I urge you all to make the most of this strength, to network, to elaborate, to collaborate, and to inspire one another.
The convener of the program, Special Advisor to the Governor on Youth Empowerment, Safrat Dungas, stated that the summit was organized to empower youth and shape their future. She emphasized the government's commitment to ensuring the youth, regardless of their background, religion, social status, or party affiliation, have the opportunity to contribute to the progress of Adamawa.
These activities are designed to inspire, empower you to build your leadership and communication skills, and to foster a deeper understanding of your role in civic engagement and governance.
Meanwhile, on Wednesday, Governor Ahmadu Fintri of Adamawa State announced the appointment of 5 new permanent secretaries to fill existing vacancies in the civil service. This decision followed their success in the qualifying examination conducted by the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, in which 20 participants from the state participated.
Those of you that are out there that will come to write this exam to succeed some of us, to take the knowledge of computer very serious. Because already that is the direction the world has taken. We are even going beyond computer, we are going to digital and AI world.
The state head of civil service, pharmacist Shehu Isa Ardo, stated that the supplementary qualifying examination was conducted because none of the candidates from the local government areas with vacancies succeeded in the previous sitting. Gibson Soadigo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Away from Nigeria, General Muhammad Idris Deby, who has led Chad's junta for the last 3 years, is to be sworn in Thursday after an election victory keenly contested by opposition parties in the North Central African nation. The swearing-in marks the end of 3 years of military rule in a country crucial for the fight against jihadism across Africa's restive Sahel region. Deby officially won 61% of the May 6th vote. International NGOs say was neither credible nor free, and which his main rival called a masquerade. He was proclaimed transitional president in April 2021 by a junta of 15 generals after his father, iron-fisted President Idris Deby, was shot dead by rebels after 30 years in power. A Kenyan climber has died close to Everest summit and his Nepali guide is missing. According to a tourism official, the incident takes this season's toll on the world's highest mountain to at least 3. Joshua Chiroyi Kiri, 40, and his Nepali guide Nawang Sherpa, 44, went out of contact on Wednesday morning and a search team was deployed on the 8,849-meter high mountain. Search parties also continue to look for a 40-year-old British climber and 21-year-old Nepali guide who have been missing since Tuesday morning after an ice fall collapsed as they descended from Everest Peak. On Monday, a Romanian climber died in his tent during a bid to scale Sohote, the fourth highest mountain in the world. Everest and Sohote share the same route until diverting at around 7,200 meters. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.